Guns and money. Guns and money.
Welcome. We are back. A new week in the market. How's everybody doing? Starting off with crypto. After that, we'll talk about stocks. Crazy week, crazy things going on. We're going to cover it all. I'll run over my thoughts on the overall market, some individual names. We'll go over the ongoing swings. We'll do some day trade recaps, and we'll probably have time for take requests. So yeah, let's get to it. A lot has changed very quickly. I wasn't live last Thursday, so we have to recap Thursday's price action, today's price action, even today, or not just today, but the whole entire weekend of crypto price action. We're going to start off with that, so make sure to hit the like button. Jack is up at 2 a.m. in the chat. Glad you're still awake, but you should probably get some sleep. And let's get started, all right? So we have a handful of crypto swings. We actually had OXT pretty much hit the first target. It went up to 34.5 cents. The target was 34.8 cents. I mean, we're talking like, you know, like literally like 1% when you're looking at a 40% target. So yeah, it went all the way up here. I don't know if there was a catalyst or what happened, but you could have locked in 40% profit like 20 hours ago, and then it just completely fell. So pretty much hit the first target there. This was alerted at 24 cents, 25 cents, and it went to 35 cents in like 10 days. Litecoin did something very similar, but this first target was only a 23% target, so I don't know. I just kind of missed saying that it hit the target, and yeah, this also got like 1% away from being a 24% gain. OXT, like we're talking about a 40% target, so 1% is like really a fraction of that, you know, target zone. But you know, this is a little bit closer, so didn't really mark this as a warning trade yet, although it really should have been, but it's all good. We're still in profit on Litecoin by 7.5%. Hopefully this can just make a higher low above this reversal zone, this green zone over here. Just want it to hold above that. If it can do that, 145 should be like actually tested eventually, and that should be it. You know, in terms of the technicals for OXT, there's not much you can do when you have a crazy move up and down like that. It's really like nothing changed except for the fact that it took a nice trip over to 34 cents and then came back down to earth. So still kind of the same right now. And then Bitcoin, what is going on? The swing trade is up 7% since the entry. Very interesting price action on Bitcoin. Okay, don't be surprised if this is like the beginning of a new bull run, not just for Bitcoin but for a lot of different cryptos. All right, you're getting this potential inverse head and shoulders on the 4 hour, a little bit scuffed. You know, the neckline's a little bit tough to break out of because it's upsloping. We also have 4 hour hidden bullish divergence on Bitcoin, and the context of all this is that you broke out of a wedge after hitting the PCZ of a shark, and now you're trying to retest 42.2k support as a support. It used to be a support, it used to be a resistance. Now you're trying to hold it as support yet again. Back at 43k right now. Actually, I think you're at session highs. So if this was the low that you put in at 41.4k, oh, nice little $150 move right there. But if this was the low you really did put in, I mean, you're set up for a really nice rally, in my opinion. Already up like $200 in the last like 10 seconds. So nice move for Bitcoin right now. Hopefully it can keep going. It's moving. I mean, look, let's take a look at this 3-minute chart. Just out of nowhere, just ripping. It's up almost 2% in the past half an hour. So Bitcoin's putting in a move. Yeah, say what's up in the chat. We've had 44 people stop by. We still got 20 people watching the stream. I don't know how I feel about that stat, but just watching Bitcoin do things, up $400 in like nothing, like in 3 minutes. So we'll move on from crypto. We'll come back to that later probably. I mean, we also have Ethereum, which you do have some hidden bearish divergence developing, so keep that in mind. But you did break out of the downsloping channel. You never really officially backtested it, but you got pretty close. Who knows? If you can just make a higher low, that hidden bearish divergence might just underperform. And then OMI is still in this range, kind of broke down from a triangle, but with the misrange, there's not really much for me to update on. So let's get to the market. Futures are green, not super green, but green slightly. And what's going on? So we had a very, very choppy day today in the market. Let's see where we started. Today was the 14th. All right, so let's take a look. All right, this was pretty much what the market did today. Come on. All right, this was your price action from today. It looks like you started right here. All right, so today the S&P 500 was up, down, up, down, up, down. Ended up closing a little bit red, but basically you sold off in the morning for about an hour and a half. Had a nice little run up until lunchtime, sold off in the early afternoon, and then rallied towards the end of the day, like just down, up, you know, kind of choppiness. But we are showing some very, very interesting technicals going into tomorrow, which I'm going to explain in a second here. So let's just get right to that. We've been selling off nonstop since the 10th, which I think was last Thursday. So since last Thursday morning, got around 10:30, 10:40 a.m. All the market's really done is sell off. You really haven't had one significant bounce. I mean, let's see. This bounce was just about under 1%. You haven't really even had like a 1% bounce. That wasn't even 1%. So maybe from today's low. That was kind of like, yeah, today was kind of like the first time from your low you put in a 1% bounce, but really haven't seen any sustained price action to the upside, even intraday, since last Thursday. So going into tomorrow, you finally just broke out of this downsloping channel you're seeing on the S&P 500 and a few others. The QQQ did the same thing. So you're testing these breakouts going into tomorrow. It could set you up for finally, maybe, your first green day, like actual green day in a few days. But that's going to be leading up into Wednesday, which is going to be FOMC minutes and a couple other things. Let me take a look from what Cheddar Free sent in the Discord. Let's take a look. So tomorrow we have PPI at 8:30 a.m. Wednesday we have retail sales at 8:30 a.m. and FOMC meeting minutes at 1 p.m. as well as crude oil inventories at 10:30 a.m. I'm not sure if everything going on with like Ukraine and Russia and all that, I don't think it would affect inventories because, you know, oil is getting a little bit volatile and just a lot of resources in general right now because of speculation. I don't know if speculation is the right word to use, but I think inventories are just like an actual statistic. So I don't know if that's going to be affected, but somebody let me know if I'm looking at that incorrectly. So yeah, going into tomorrow, pretty nice 5-minute breakouts across the board, 15-minute classic bullish divergence on a lot of different assets and indices. You can take a look at this classic bullish divergence on the S&P. The QQQ has it as well. Actually, QQQ also has a bullish Gartley. If you're in the Discord, you could have made 20%, actually no, 30% profit on QQQ calls that were alerted today. And now it's still kind of showing this Gartley, which I shared earlier in the Discord. I shared it at this first low and just moved down the PCZ to a second low. But look at, I mean, this is a really strong 15-minute chart going into tomorrow for tech. And we do have, you know, the VIX making higher lows and the US 10-year breaking out. So you have to keep that in mind for large caps. But you got a Gartley, you have a supply line breakout, classic bullish divergence. Not bad, not bad at all. Even the Russell 2000, I think, you got a wedge divergence. So lower time frames are looking pretty good going into tomorrow. You never know. We have some more news come out with everything with Russia and whatever we're saying about Russia or they're saying or Ukraine's saying. I mean, it's a mess, honestly. I think that's one thing everybody could agree on. The whole thing's a mess. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. But as long as we don't have any crazy news that comes out, or I don't even know if news is the right word to use, but headlines that come out or statements that come out, we could be set up for a decent rally intraday, maybe for a few hours, and then see how things change. So that's how I'm looking at the market. But of course, it depends on how we open. There's really, you could do all the predictions you want for the following day in the market, but anything can change overnight. So I always like to just, at 9:30 a.m. every single day when the market opens, just have a fresh mind, look at things as unbiased as possible, and that's really that. So your 15-minute, your 5-minute, those time frames look good. The 1 hour time frames, it's kind of like all the indices broke down from bear flags towards the end of last week, which is one thing I wish I would have been able to say if I was streaming on Thursday. So you kind of have these bear flags in these downtrends that we're seeing. They already broke down. So I don't know, maybe if these really low time frames play out, what could actually happen is you run back up and you flip your previous demand lines into supply lines, and then maybe if the FOMC minutes are not too good, you drop back down again, right? So yeah, I'm really looking at this very, very closely. It's low probability that all these little predictions are going to be right, but I'm just giving what the potential possibilities are. So yeah, even a little bit of a harmonic structure here on the S&P. Oh, that's the QQQ. All right, so I already drew that out earlier. And that's 1 hour classic bullish divergence. Even take a look at this. Most of the indices and ETFs hit their lower Bollinger Bands today. So you can see in the past, that's led to bounces. It's very, very, very clear. So low time frames are lining up, but those higher time frames, it gets a little bit scarier. So maybe bear flag breakdowns. If we go over to higher time frames, you got a nice pin bar candle on the S&P today on the 4 hour. Yeah, nice. The second 4 hour candle of the day was pretty good. A lot of hammers and pin bars. I like to see that. So again, these are all indications that you could see a short-term bounce for the market, but that could be just to make a lower high. I mean, I'm still macro bearish, so I do think there could be short-term bounces to be made, dead cat bounces, but I don't think we're going to be taking out our previous highs until we do. And when we do, I'd love to be proven wrong and I'd love to be bullish again, but until we do that, we're still making lower highs and lower lows, and you are not in a bullish trend while you're making lower highs and lower lows. So yeah, also watch out for some potential hidden bearish diversions that's now developing on the ARK ETF, and I think the Russell 2000 as well on the daily. That's not too good, kind of like this bear flag structure after flipping your previous support back into a resistance. Not really what you want. You were very, very close. We were very close to reclaiming some huge levels last week when the Russell was back inside of its range, when the S&P was back above its resistance, but you just couldn't hold it. You gave it up. The bulls could not hold those levels, and now the bears are back in control for now. So you're back under the 200-day moving average on the S&P 500. I think you also have potential hidden bearish divergence here. So all the indices on the MACD are pretty much giving you potential hidden bearish divergence, which implies a continuation of this current downtrend that we're seeing. So that's what it looks like to me. We still could see a little bit of a stock pickers market. There were a decent amount of stocks that were shining today. I mean, Fisker was up like 4 or 5% at one point. A couple other things on my watch just had a good start to the day and then kind of rolled over a little bit, but we could just be entering a stock pickers market. But obviously macro is still kind of bearish, and you of course have this lingering head and shoulders pattern that could potentially confirm if you break under 4,200 on the S&P 500. So hopefully it doesn't confirm, but you're on that final leg down. So this is actually what I sent to premium members last Friday. Let me see if I can pull it up right here. So last Friday I said, this plan is pending confirmation and can absolutely change. My current idea for next week is to play the oversold lower time frames for a dead cat bounce, but to switch to puts on a retest of previous support and the 200-day moving average. So my plan is still the same. I'm talking about those lower time frames looking pretty interesting. We already played calls today that worked out pretty nicely, but I still think there could be a little bit more of a bounce off below we put in today, maybe to retest these areas over here. Previous support from these 4 days, 200-day moving average, retest those 1 hour bear flag previous demand lines, flip them into supply lines, all that good stuff, and then see what the FOMC minutes look like. And if they don't look good, maybe flip back over to calls, to puts, and just play a larger move down over here. So you know, something like how I drew this arrow right over here. So that's kind of how I'm viewing this week. But of course, you know, maybe you don't bounce tomorrow. Maybe some bad news comes out with Russia and Ukraine, and who knows what happens, and you sell off like crazy tomorrow, and then you go down over here. Maybe on Wednesday we have a really good reaction to minutes. I mean, the last couple of meetings were horrible. The last two meetings for the market were really bad. We had horrible reactions. So maybe this time it's a little bit different, and then we actually continue rallying, we reclaim those levels. So got to take it day by day. That's just my general idea. That's just my general plan, and we'll see what happens. So that's pretty much my thoughts on the market. I mean, we have some other interesting stuff going on. The US 10-year is breaking over a very big level. I mean, look at this chart on the weekly. It's like an inverse head and shoulders. It's like you're breaking out of an inverse head and shoulders, and this could put pressure on a lot of growth stocks, okay? You're reclaiming very big levels. We've actually seen quite a few days in the past week or so where like you actually had the 10-year and a lot of growth stocks and large caps going up together. So it's, you know, it's not completely inverse, and it's never going to be completely inverse, but that's just a general thing you want to keep in mind. I mean, it's obviously been a really red year for a lot of these large caps so far, and it's been a pretty green year for the 10-year bond. So we'll see what happens. And the volatility index on the 4-hour is kind of pulling back from this historical resistance zone, which is good. You can see there's a lot of different tops around this level in the past, 30, 31. So we'll see if this could be yet another mini top, but you never know. And I think the MACD just crossed over to green on the daily. I mean, this is triple hidden bullish divergence and 3 higher lows in a row. That's not what you want to see if you're a bull. It's just not. Let's make this white. Okay, you have 3 higher lows in a row right now with hidden bullish divergence on your MACD, and you're testing yet another breakout of this range that the last 2 times you were in, you really shot up. But nice little bearish candle today. Maybe you probably did hit the upper Bollinger Band, very close, but you never officially tagged it. So I don't know. This is a little bit worrisome. I mean, you've been just kind of in this accumulation, rounding bottom scenario since the COVID crash, and now you're starting to make higher lows for the first time. This is the 3rd consecutive higher low. That's not the best looking chart for bulls right now, but hopefully these, you know, shorter term indicators pull you back for a little bit, and then hopefully we don't make another high. I mean, if we get a 4th higher low in a row, that'll just be like crazy, but we'll see what happens. Won't be crazy, but it'll be a big shift in momentum for the market. And apart from that, the dollar is moving back up. Gold is, we were talking about it. I was telling you all how bullish gold looked to me over here, and I was saying, you know, nobody really cares about gold anymore, but I think it's a very interesting chart. I was talking about this in November and December, and it's all playing out. Remember this triangle on the weekly that we talked about? It's no mistake, and it even makes sense fundamentally with all the inflation we're seeing. So yeah, gold continuing to go higher. The Hang Seng Index really just been going sideways lately, nothing too crazy there. So that's the overall market. That's pretty much what's going on. I think a lot of large caps still look pretty bearish to me, and if we take a look at something like MU, you're getting a lot of these, you know, M-shaped formations. You have your X, A, B, and C parts of your harmonics, and now you're just pending the D waves. And I mean, time and time again, we see these harmonics playing out. So you kind of like got 75% completion on a lot of these large cap stocks in terms of development of bullish harmonics, but that final wave is going to make the price go down. So I mean, I'd love to see these major bullish harmonics appear, but we have to go down first for them to appear. And it's not just MU that looks like this. I mean, there's so many. Let me go over to my other watch list. NVDA is one, right? X, A, B, C, D. This kind of already went back up. Apple, already have it drawn out. X, A, B, C, D. I mean, how many times have we seen these harmonics play out time and time again? And now they're starting to develop on higher time frames. So I don't know. There are definitely some bearish individual assets you can for sure find. I mean, I shared a nice watch list with premium members over the weekend with both bullish and bearish tickers on it. So see what happens. Calls on beanies, definitely. What's up, Keanu? So that's my thoughts on the overall market. Let's go over the swings now for a second. CLOV down 7% today. It's tough, right? It was on the brink of a breakout. Couldn't really get any volume, but you still are very close. You still are very, very close. I'm just hoping that it doesn't hit a new all-time low before reversing. It's completely possible that it does. Remember, when I said that I put this out, I said, I'm just forgetting that it's CLOV. I'm just looking at this as a chart that just went from $28 to $2, giving it a shot of a swing with a stop under the previous all-time low. The risk is defined. Remember, you define your own risk. There's no surprises. There's no bag holding. There's whatever you set, your position sizing and stop and whatnot. It's just a fixed ratio. That's really all it is. It's a fixed ratio. You already know the potential results of it. You do whatever you want, not financial advice. Hopefully you can just make a higher low above $2.12 and run again. And that's probably going to come down to earnings, which I believe are next week and pretty much exactly a week, actually. Wait, no. Like a week and 2 days. Fisker was up 1% today. They have some big news coming soon, apparently, that they've been talking about on Twitter. Hopefully that's interesting. I've been seeing a lot of filings, like changing of beneficial ownerships and all that stuff. Saw a few of those on my email today, so see what happens. But I want to see it get back above 1220, okay? You were above it for like 1 day and you gave it up again. So yeah, Fisker, you want it to get back above that. Otherwise, you're going to have to start worrying about this bear flag looking formation. I think Cheddar Freeze talked about this in the Discord. And then that could send you to at least retest your 973 low, which I think the stop should allow for that to be retested, but not broken. So you have a little bit of a bearish 4-hour chart starting to appear on Fisker here, unfortunately. But again, it's not over. All you really need to do, even if it does sell off, all you need to do is make an equal low double bottom, even maybe a slightly low double bottom, a higher low double bottom. You're just looking for a retest of that previous area that you bounced at, and that's why the stop is at 953. So all those different potential scenarios are possible if it wants to. All right, so that's really it for Fisk right now. But you have to, this is like the main thing I want you all to take away from tonight's stream. So many things are, I mean, all the major indices on the daily are starting to develop hidden bearish divergence. A lot of these stocks are starting to develop hidden bearish divergence. And a lot of these things happen for a reason. So that does imply a continuation of a lot of downtrends. You have to keep that in mind until it gets invalidated, which means you're going to have to make higher highs than your previous highs on your previous green islands, or you're just going to have to keep building positive momentum until it eventually confirms, but hopefully much later on. And there's not much for me to update on Bob, but that's a very long-term swing. So that's my thoughts on the swings. In terms of options trades today, I alerted a little bit of a QQQ call to everybody in the Discord today. You don't even have to be in premium if you want to get these free alerts from the Discord, links in the description. It's completely free. Let's see where it was. So at 10:46, I alerted QQQ calls to everybody. What a nice entry. Boom, right there. Right over here, I alerted QQQ calls. I think I had my original supply line drawn and it was breaking it or something. We can take a look at it. Yeah, so I was watching this original channel on the QQQ today. It was getting close to a breakout. I was watching that 15-minute Garley, which I'm still watching going into tomorrow for the QQQ. And I alerted some calls to everybody in the Discord. At the time, QQQ was 348. And about half an hour later, QQQ went up to 350. So I made a nice little 2-point move. The calls went up 30%, actually, a little bit more than what I shared right over here. Yeah, it made this nice move after that alert. So that green arrow is where I alerted it to everybody. This was the move that followed. Could have made a nice profit if you were just in the Discord. If you're not, well, the link's in the description. So that was really simple. And then I alerted Facebook calls to premium members, I think around very early, maybe like 10 o'clock or something. Actually, no, it must have been like 10:30. Let's see. 10:40. So I alerted Facebook calls at 10:40 to premium members, which was right there. Okay, so good entries if I do say so myself. They made nice moves for day trades. This was Facebook after it, after the alert. The screen arrows where I alerted it, literally right there, right before it started reversing. I was just watching a previous support, and the demand line of a channel, lower Bollinger Band. So yeah, pretty good day for day trades. A little bit of a pullback day for most of the swings. However, not all. I mean, Fisker was up a little bit, and one of the premium swings was up a little bit. So that's really the recap from today. That's it. I'm still watching Facebook going into tomorrow. Nice little, I don't know exactly. You call that doji maybe. It was close. If this was body, it was like higher. It could have been a pin bar. But on the 4 hour, you got a bullish pin bar on Facebook. You got a MACD crossed over on Facebook. You have 1 hour classic bullish divergence on Facebook, a potential double bottom after this hammer candle, kind of like a dragon pattern too. I still have all eyes on Facebook, okay? Look at that 30-minute classic bullish divergence on both oscillators, first low, second low. These are reversal type stuff, formations, and they're happening at a historical area. Previous resistance before the COVID crash, even back tested in July of 2020. You bounced off this area on the 8th of February, you're bouncing off of it again. If you can just hold 215, 216 on Facebook, you could be set up for a move at least to like 228 to 230, which on lower time frames is this little resistance zone over here. Okay, so we'll see what happens. It's no certainty it's going to go up here, but it's a low risk, potential high reward scenario, and you're breaking out of this down sloping channel. So Facebook is still one of my main focuses for tomorrow. Tesla made a nice move today. This is actually interesting going into tomorrow. I don't know if Keanu Trades is still here. I don't know, he's always crushing it on Tesla, but take a look at this. On a 15-minute going into tomorrow on Tesla, you have, oh, there he is. I see him in the chat. Let's see. Let's delete this. A potential dragon pattern. Some hidden bullish divergence. So that could be interesting. Got some clear resistance around 892, 893. You bounced off support today, 852. Look at this level. It was a low from October 18th. It was a low from January 24th. It was a low from February 11th, which was Friday, and today's low as well. So bouncing off of support, and then you just tagged this 899 resistance. Interesting. See what happens. Champ talks about what? So that's Tesla. What else? AMC is down 5-6% today. I already told you all that this was a premium swing. Look at this. Hit first target and second target. Now it's pulling back. But nice first two targets being hit. I think it's not really, I don't know, maybe it's trying to backtest previous resistance as a support. Kind of under it for right now though. Inverse head and shoulders on Tesla. I'm not sure which time frame you're looking at. I don't know if you're talking about like this is the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder. I don't like how the right shoulder is like all the way over here. I would have liked to see the right shoulder like right here, you know. Similar psychology though, if that's the time frame you're looking at. What else is going on? A lot of these energy stocks are kind of going crazy, but they're now starting to show some potentially bearish variables. BP is one I'm watching. It flipped a previous support into a resistance today. Kind of 2 red days in a row now. A little bit of rejection there, some classic bearish divergence. X is another one. You can see it's got some potential hidden bearish divergence. It rejected the 200-day moving average. Interesting. Not inverse. Okay. What's up, the guy? Alright, so that's pretty much all I had for it today. Nothing too crazy. I think the next couple of days could be wild with everything that's going on with Russia and also the FOMC minutes. A lot of volatility in the market. Thursday we have initial jobless claims. Friday, a couple FOMC members speaking. And then Monday, all right, so we have a 3-day weekend. President's Day is on Monday, so the market is closed next Monday. So we're also going into a 3-day weekend, which could lead to even more volatility on Thursday and Friday towards the end of the week. So, I mean, just so many different things going on. We'll see what happens. Next week is a huge week for a lot of mid-caps earnings. Bitcoin's making a nice move. It's up $500 since we started streaming, which is nice. Ethereum's also up $100 on the day. Good stuff. All right, so any take requests, make sure you hit the like button. All right, We gotta get to 20 likes. I know I took a break and the stream's been pretty much dead since I've come back, but we can't not get to 20 likes. You know, we got 27 people in here. We got to at least see 20 likes. Commando, we just went over AMC. Not too much for me to update on AMC right now. Alright, so Hut 8 Mining Corporation got potential. Another one with potential hidden bearish divergence. Rejected the 200-day moving average. Got a gap to fill at $6.60. I don't see why it wouldn't get filled, but you also have an upside gap fill at $8.71. I don't see much of an edge on this one. You know, it's kind of like a shark, a little bit scuffed, but you've already reversed out your PCZ, and right now I don't see much of an edge in the short term. Roblox just broke out of a downsloping channel. Earnings are tomorrow according to TradingView, so really going over technicals right now doesn't make too much sense. I mean, these are your big levels: 64.60 and 85.47. I haven't looked at Lucid in a long time. I think it's back in the 20s, so we'll take a look at that. Former likes at 20. Lucid. Oh, I did chart this recently. Okay, take a look at Lucid. Bullish Gartley. Kind of finding support at the PCZ, which is around 25.75. Classic bullish divergence. I like Lucid here. I mean, even close to a tweezer bottom candle today, you were just inches off of it being a tweezer bottom. Just had to close out like 12 or 27.55 probably. I like Lucid as long as it can hold 25.75. If the head and shoulders on the S&P 500 does confirm, this is probably going back down to like 17, 18 bucks. As long as that doesn't and nothing bad happens to Lucid fundamentally, I think this could be a low risk potential high reward area. All you gotta do is get back above 29, 30 bucks, which would put you back over the 200-day moving average and that previous resistance, and you could have a pretty easy shot to at least like 36 bucks on Lucid. So certainly interesting right now. I'd probably just redraw this completely. A little bit of a downsloping channel. Fell under 234 support. Another one with potential hidden bearish divergence. I don't know. I don't see an edge. Could go either way. Anything else? Moderna, I was watching Moderna. I think I sent it in the Watchlist recently. It's retesting the PCZ of a bullish backed. If this breaks, probably gonna head down to 119. So you're testing your support. I mean, it even draws right here. You're bouncing at the same exact low you bounced off of on January 24th. If you can hold 138, great. If you can't, I'll see you at 119. So you probably delete 145. But you gotta make a break area, and you got earnings soon. Magna. I just see this as a range for right now. A range between 73 and 90 bucks. That's all it's doing. It's just range bound until it breaks either direction. Could go either, could go anywhere in this range until it breaks out of it. I don't see much of a head and shoulders. If anything, I'd look at it more of like a double top. And it's pretty much testing its neckline right now. This would be your neckline. So, but it really doesn't matter that it's a double top if it's in a range already. So you already know your support's here. You don't want to break your support. It would be the same thing as you breaking down from the neckline of double top. All right, so I guess that'll be it. I don't know. Maybe just a dry stream tonight is what it is. Can't do anything about it. We'll be back tomorrow. There'll probably be some crazy price action from tomorrow, so maybe tomorrow seems a little bit cooler. And that's that. All right, have a good night. Good luck trading if you want to trade tomorrow. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream. If you did, let me know by hitting that like button. Check out the links in the description. Make sure you're in the Discord. Follow me on Twitter. It's in the Twitter's not on the stream overlay. It's at ChampionVibe. So follow me there. And have a good night. Peace out.